Thank you for tuning into The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. So a lot of these questions about B2K are not mine, but obviously, I'm going to read them off for the purposes of our entertainment. These questions were formulated by, she is going to pretty much just be the orchestrator of this reading because she came up with the questions. That being said, I know who B2K is, but I didn't listen to them when I was younger. Was not into boy groups when I was younger. But anyway, so we're going to get right into it. So we want to know, how was the group formed? How was the group B2K formed? How was the group B2K formed? I know that Omarion and Lil Fizzs were on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, because when I was living in California, I remember they were on the first season. I haven't really watched since the first season. So how was the group formed? Okay, so I'll say this. I am familiar with Chris Stokes. I know who Chris. I know about Chris Stokes because I would read straight from the A sometimes, and then she would write an article about him. But so the temperance card is here, and what's interesting is that there are 4 globules here. So this would represent the B2K members, and this would be Chris Stokes. So I'm saying that he approached their mothers and asked them, could he form this boy group with them. I'm saying one of them, I don't know, is Chris Stokes related to one of them? Because it seems, because one of the balls is like way up here, and I'm not seeing a mother. So I'm saying that like perhaps Chris Stokes was related to one of them, or he already knew them, like he was like a childhood friend, godfather or something. But I am seeing the 3 women being this. Okay, so what's interesting is that all 3 of these cards show women on them, but this one speaks about a woman who is, for all intents and purposes, just in the dark. I get that, like, in the dark, in the sense that, you know, it's like one of the mothers she has just a dark energy about her. I get that she's not she doesn't have her like I get that she can slip in and out of reality, that people may call her crazy, so to speak. Now they may call her crazy, but I get that she may have had some sort of mental problems. Another one's mom, I feel like she was an entertainer, or she came from a background of being an entertainer. Probably not famous, but she was probably like a singer or a dancer, and she wanted to have her, kid to, be successful. Then there's another woman here who I see her being standoffish about getting her kid involved, but I see her taking her being promised like a lot of money, and her doing it for money. So all in all, the thing is that, okay, so then there's a family relationship here and the lovers. So I feel like maybe Chris Stokes was in a relationship with one of their mothers, and she was the one that was well financed, but not well financed. There's another woman here who's responsible for helping form the group, but I feel like this woman's an executive. Like, I feel like she's not related to Chris Stokes per se, but she's more of like a powerful music executive who's known for building and pouring into music artists. I don't get that she is in a relationship. I don't get exactly that she was in a relationship with Chris Stokes, but I do get that Chris Stokes was in a relationship with someone's mom, and I also get that the group was helped to be the group was formed by some female music executive. She has a lot of money. Let's see, is this woman still popular, still relevant? She's married to someone else that's wealthy as well. Um, I'm not sure if they're relation. I don't know the name of these people because you all know everybody that's in the background and in the music industry. But she's married to another wealthy executive. He is young as well. He was young, so I get these people may have been in their 30s. 30s to 40s. Let's say mid 30s, mid 40s ish range, give or take a year. Um, let's see. How did their moms feel about them being in the group? Um, there's a there's a guy that was connected to Chris Stokes. It's two individuals that were help. It's like Chris Stokes, and then there's another guy who was helping to groom them, teaching them. I don't know if he was teaching them how to dance or how to sing or get in the rhythm. Um, but I do see I do see that there was a guy that worked under Chris Stokes who was helping to train them to be like a boy group and helping to them to find balance. But I do see what's interesting that I see Omarion's here as the Five of Pentacles, and it looks like Chris Stokes was very interested in him being the lead singer, and also the guy that was training them being interested in him being a lead singer as well. How did their moms feel? Their moms didn't. It's like their moms didn't really want them involved, like with their moms. It's like their moms didn't want them to be too exposed to the vices of the music industry, but at the same time they knew that they had to do that. So it's like their moms felt like, okay, well, we have to present our kids as sexy. It's not like something they really thought twice about. It's not something they really just even had a problem with. They just didn't want their kids to live a sexy life. It's like, they can dress this way, they can do this, they can sing about this, but they can't they can't actually do it. And they felt like if they, started doing drugs and, it seemed that they were going to end up like Lindsay Lohan. They were going to try to remove them from the group. But what else can we know about the group being formed? Okay, Crystal Stokes is coming up as a sun card. Chris Stokes didn't have a lot. He wasn't really working with a lot of capital when he was getting the group together. Um, it's like he was like, I'm looking for raw talent. I'm looking for people that I can just, put them on the stage and, they already have the it factor about them. Somebody that he doesn't really have to invest a lot of money into, but but a group that he could make a lot of money from. He was cheap. So yeah, that's what I get about the group being formed. All right, so making sure my cards are up right. We're gonna do another shuffle. The next question that we have, what was the childhood like for each member? Let's see, what was the childhood like for each member? What was their childhood like? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. What was Omarion's childhood like? Okay. Let's see. Why did we get the Two of Swords? Let's see. Why did I get the Two of Swords for Omarion's childhood? See, I kind of felt like, okay, so these are the cards of someone who's extremely spiritual. Um, okay, so these cards are talking about Marion being very, very spiritual at a young age, but him also having conflicting feelings about how he felt towards women and how he felt towards men, whether that and his impressions of men and women. It also is talking about him wanting a girlfriend at a very young age, but at the same time being heavily influenced by Chris Stokes. And it speaks about Chris Stokes kind of ruining his relationships with other girls, kind of trying to, say like, you kind of sort of like Omarion has a heart where he wants to really be in love and he wants to be a very faithful guy, but Chris Stokes was kind of sort of not even kind of sort of was teaching him how to be a player. And it also speaks about Omarion, like Omarion being very he's extremely spiritual. The cards are saying that Omarion felt like he feels like he has to be someone that he's not in order to please everyone else that's around him. And he also has learned how to shut down that the inner voice from God. So it's like he stops listening to he can stop listening to his intuition, and he can really be an archetypically masculine man when he's actually someone that's very in touch with his emotions and very loving. Okay, let's see. That was interesting. Okay, so the cards are now speaking. Yeah, so with relationships, he failed like in his formative years, he failed to learn how to maintain healthy relationships. And I'm also seeing that his mom was very controlling, and his mom's like, "Oh, you're my baby." Because she's come up as a queen of wands, so I get this energy about her where she's like mama bear. And I see where I get this vibe that her mom would fight other people, but she would never fight the person that she was in a relationship with. I am seeing that Omarion didn't want to be like his mom, so that made him want to have he wanted to be someone that was patient in relationships, someone that's very romantic and giving and kind, because he didn't feel like he received as much of that when he was younger. He felt like he was getting a lot. He was spoiled and overprotected, but then overexposed at the same time. So it's like, he feel not so much that he feels objectified, but he was objectified, but he felt like it was his mom just loving him very deeply. But the cards are also saying that he's failed to develop the ability to tap into his intuition. So when he argues with people, he may get really belligerent sometimes, but he's also really good at giving advice to people. He has learned how to adjust to being awkward, and he's also I'm also saying him having perfected this false representation of himself. So who he thinks he is who he's actually become, even though that's not who he should be, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'm gonna do another shuffle. Let's see. What's his name? What was Jay Boog's childhood like? What was Jay Boog's childhood like? The Lovers. Why did I get the lovers for J Boog? What do you all think of the reading so far? What are your opinions on it so far? Are you enjoying this reading? And did you listen to B2K when you were little? If you didn't listen to B2K, what music group were you listening to? Let me think about the music groups I was listening to. I listened to the Spice Girls. I listened to shit. Look, I didn't get into music till I was like 11. Look, the first music video I got into was Kaya's My Neck, My Back, and I remember it was number 6 on 106th and Park. I think it was like 2002 or something, 2001. Anyway, so why do we get the lovers for J Boog's childhood? Okay, so I get that J Boog's mom was very loving, very affectionate. She's very sensitive. She listens, very kind, but I also get that she's very passive. And he felt as though she didn't protect him as he felt as though his mom didn't protect him as much as she was supposed to. I also get that she was someone who was pregnant a lot. So either she was birthing new ideas or birthing new children. And I see her mind being a bit scattered. I see that he wanted to have more structure in his life. At the same time, he loves his mom. And she would, give the shirt off of her back for her children. But I'm also saying here where she is a little bit delusional, and she may not see things the way that for what they actually are. So some people are okay with getting a car loan that has a 25% interest rate, and the car is 2 or 3 years old, and they're okay with paying on their car loan for 6 years because they see this opportunity differently than most people would. Some people may see that as a bad deal, but she saw things like that as a good deal. I get that his mom was always she was always looking for love, and she was someone who was she was even more hands off when she was in a relationship with someone. What else do I get here? Let's see, what else can I get? Okay, so J Boog was not exactly, I wouldn't say he's spiritual, but he's someone that's very disciplined, and very practical in how he approaches life. And I see that he was able to overcome his like during puberty, he was able to overcome like his thirst for women. But I also see that he would, and he was also, it's also like he played around with women, yes, but he was also trying to be a gentleman as well. I see him trying to have a relationship with a girl, like when he was, especially out on tours, trying to maintain contact with girls that he really liked. He has a very positive interpretation of his life. He feels like, for the most part, he feels like he was destined for success, and that everything that happened in his formative years led him to where he is right now. He's very happy with the man he's become. He wishes that he could have saved more money back then, but at the same time, he's just happy. He was just happy to just be in the spotlight at the time. Okay. Okay, so next we're going to do Lil Fizz. All right, so what was Lil Fizz's childhood like growing up? Oops. What was Lil Fizz's childhood like growing up? Okay. The Five of Cups. Okay. So some emotional instabilities here. Okay. It looks like Lil Fizz was extremely spoiled. He was very, very spoiled. And he had a he knew that he was attractive. And because these cards are like the pleasure, abundance, completion, the high priestess, the science card, he was very much into himself. He's like, I see him as someone that's very sensual. I see him looking in the mirror a lot, trying to perfect his look, being told that he was pretty, telling himself that he was very pretty. I see him having a very easy time adjusting to women liking him, but I see him attracting a lot of crazy women, and him being attracted to women that like to spice things up, women that will force him into isolation. I get that he had an addiction to he was kind of addicted to, finding women that had like feisty attitudes that like to fight for him. And he liked women that were competitive, alpha women, because he likes the controlling factor of those women. He likes to feel like you're he likes the intensity of the passion. Okay, 1 second. So that was part of his childhood. The King of Pentacles. Okay. So why is the King of Pentacles coming up? His mom caused him a lot of stress. Like especially trying to like care for her and feeling like he had to be her representative. He had a very needy mom. And at the same time, Chris Stokes would keep him away from his mom. So I see him feeling sad a lot that he couldn't see her. And I also see him trying to, I see him always just trying to make these plans to leave the group. I see him feeling like, it's inevitable that I'm going to just have to leave the group. It's inevitable that I'm just have to just drop off and stop doing this, because he started to feel like he was detaching from reality. He's someone that is extremely family oriented. The King of Pentacles card is actually Chris Stokes. Now that this makes a lot of sense, it's talking about, I feel like Lil Fizz was having the time of his life, at first. And then when he started to, miss his mom, and, just miss the just being at home and around people that he loved, he's like, oh yeah, I can't do that right now because I have to make money. I don't know if I want to continue doing this. I'm saying this as I'm seeing a lot of this as not little, but Lil Fizz, wanting, he wanted freedom from B2K. He didn't always want to do music. He's wanted to, be an artist. He's felt like he has talent, but he didn't enjoy it as much as he should have, because he didn't feel like he was contributing as much as he could to the energy of the group. He felt like he was, put in a support role, but at the same time, he's got these girls around him and he's feeling empty and lonely because he wants to be, around his family, but he can't be because of the demands that Chris Stokes was putting on them. To work. Okay. We're going to now look into the childhood of Raspy. Let's see. What was Raspy's childhood like? Oops. What's Raspy's childhood like? Oof. These cards are hard to shuffle. I think that is indicative of Raspy's childhood. Some really, these cards are really hard to shuffle. Okay, so Five of Pentacles, poverty. Let's see. But it's like poverty that's hidden. His mom was broke. I get like his mom not having a lot of money and perhaps being preyed on because she didn't have a lot of money. I'm also getting that his mom was not a good listener. She would see things but not listen to him when he would call it out. Okay, so these cards are speaking about. Okay, so the Ace of Wands is here. It's speaking about like there being sexual unrest with Raspy. Him feeling like him being stubborn towards developing his sexuality and feeling like his puberty wasn't. He felt like his puberty. Hold on, these cards are weird. This is interesting. If he just felt like his puberty is incomplete. I get that he hasn't fully. I don't get that he's fully developed as a. There's like an arrested development. Like he's still stuck at like 14 or 15, and it's like because of his mom. Let's see why there's this the Eight of Cups. Okay, the Eight of Cups. So again, I see his mom again. But this time I'm saying it as this time I'm saying it as like his mom. I don't know if she's like suicidal, but I do get this. I get this vibe from her that she did the best she could, like providing for him and maintaining the home for him, like helping him like maintain a home. But she felt like she was putting him in good hands when she brought him into B2K. She wanted her son to be extremely successful. This is something that I get that she was conspiring for her son's success, and she felt like he had a lot of talent and that he could be very profitable. But I don't get that she genuinely believed in his talent. I feel like she felt like it was better for him. It was better for him to try to do music than for her to try to raise him because she had other things that she wanted to do. I don't see her as being lazy, but I see her as someone that was extremely strategic about where she was trying to the industry she was trying to put her child in. Okay, the Knight of Swords is coming up as Chris Stokes. He promised her a lot of money, and it's not like Raspy saw a lot of it. It's like he experienced a lot, but he didn't see a lot of the money himself. Raspy feels like he traveled the world and he got to wear nice clothes and he had nice haircuts, but he doesn't feel like he had anything to show for it. So I get that Raspy was always asking himself, "Where's the money?" Because he thought that being a celebrity would pay more than what he was making, and it seemed like he was not so much owing money, but he wasn't seeing unlimited wealth like he thought being a celebrity. Like he thought that's what being a celebrity meant. You have an unlimited amount of wealth. These cards are also speaking about Chris Stokes keeping him away from his mom as well. I see it as him justifying that he needed to be away from his mom because he was like Raspy's too emotional, and he needs to be around real men. And I get Chris Stokes being very dominating towards him and interfering with his relationship with his mom. So Raspy's thoughts towards his mom are a bit scattered, or he may like his anger is kind of stunted because he's like, I should be angry with my mom, but then at the same time, like, how angry can I really be with her because she was, just doing the best that she could. That being said, I get that his childhood I get that he has really conflicting feelings, and he had conflicting feelings at the time about it. Yeah. Let's see. He felt like Chris Stokes was cruel. That's one thing I will say. He felt like Chris Stokes was cruel. Okay, so we're going to take a break here. And we're now going to go to, not take a break here, but we're going to go on to our next question. I'm sorry, not take a break. Our next question is, are the allegations against Chris Stokes true? Okay, so are the allegations against Chris Stokes true? And if you're wondering what allegations I'm talking about, then Google allegations against Chris Stokes. There are so many allegations against Chris Stokes that I can't even name them. So it's like different ones. But are the allegations against Chris Stokes true? Okay, the cards are saying that they're describing Chris Stokes as like this, as like a dishonest creative man that.
So fuel my fire, take me high, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here,